Hi, I'm Doc Palmer. I'm the author of McGraw-Hill's best-selling reliability book for the last 20 years, the Maintenance Planning and Scheduling Handbook. Because the concepts of planning and scheduling are so unusual, most people totally miss them, and it's an opportunity for us to have a competitive edge. Today, I want to discover a truth, and I want to talk about the leverage. Where's the money? We're always talking about where's the money. Well, it's because of the wrench time, this ugly thing called wrench time. But let's convert that to dollars. If we have three mechanics, could be electricians, instrument techs. I'm a chemical engineer. I don't take sides. Uh, if they're all at 35% wrench time, which is where everybody is, surprisingly, because that's the point, humans feel busy and everybody has humans, so it's 35% at good companies across industries and across cultures and continents. You're paying for three people to give you one person full time working on stuff. Well, we're going to take one of those persons out of the craft and make them a planner. They're not available to pull wrenches, they're at 0% wrench time. But they can help the other two people get to 55. 55, is that our target? That's best practice. That doesn't seem like a lot. It seems like you're saying to get ahead, we need to work half days. But if 50% of the time we're available for the shift, we're actually moving a job ahead. That's best practice. Well, that gives me 110%. So there's a break even point. You could take one out of three persons out of your crafts and make them planners and never miss a beat. But one planner can plan for 20 to 30 persons. So let's take this top number. I don't have to take one out of three. I could take one out of 30 people and pop everybody else to 55%. So you don't have to take a third of your workforce to be planners. It's almost a small takeout. And then it's not a 20% increase going from 35 to 55. 55 divided by 35 is equal to 1.57. It's a 50% pop. So taking the 30 craftspersons that we had at the electric utility, a small mechanical group, times 1.57, that explains how we were suddenly completing work as if we had 47 people. It's a huge pop. Every planner, one planner, is equal to 17 persons for the productivity of your plant. So let's convert this to dollars now. It's not just the 17. We'll look at that here. 17 persons times the loaded rate in Florida at my utility from the accounting department was $25 an hour. This was in 1993, 30 years ago. Times 2080, which is what you're paying a person hours per year to work, that's equal to $884,000 a year. That's the value of the extra 17 people. Is that the value of planning? No, it doesn't stop there. The 1 to 10 industry ratio is that not Doc's number, but the industry number. Every extra dollar you invest in proactive maintenance is worth $10 on your bottom line. That's in profits to your company. You're greasing a bearing correctly at the right time for a dollar. Instead of spending $10 to replace a bearing, collateral damage, and loss of product. It's a 1 to 10 ratio. That's why we want to work on stuff before it breaks. Proactive maintenance, maintain, not let it break and fix it. That's not where the money is. The money's in keeping things from breaking. But the management question is, how can we do extra proactive maintenance when our hands are full of reactive maintenance? You can get a 50% pop in your workforce to do that. Now, the number now I suspect in $50 an hour, you can get that from your own accounting department. One planner, let's not skip a step here. The 1 to 10 ratio says 30 years ago, a planner is worth $808,840,000 per year for one planner. But now, which I jumped ahead to say, if you're paying $50 an hour for your craftspersons, that's worth $17 million. Huge value. That's why we do planning. We want to do the extra proactive work to keep things from breaking because it's a huge investment for our company. If you free up one planner for 30 people, you're going to save $17 million. Be that much better a company. Is that proactive work out there? Yes, but the operators are not telling you about it because you don't have the resources to do it anyways. And it frustrates them to tell you. When we lived in Florida, one of my daughters was a runner. If you looked out in the neighborhood and you'd see young lady running around the block, it would be my daughter. And one day she came to me and said, "Dad, I need a treadmill." "But why do you need a treadmill?" "Well, so you can park in the street and I can run in the garage." And she didn't say it that way. She said, "I want a treadmill." So I solved her problem because I'm the maintenance manager. Well, we live in Florida. There are only 2 seasons, summer and January. In January, put on a jacket. I solved her problem for free. How about that? So she went to her mom and turned it into a safety work order. They came back and said, "Dad, if I do a real good job on my homework and it's getting a little dark outside, it would be safer for me to run in the garage." Okay, so I buy this really nice treadmill. It's a nice treadmill. And every night she's out there, thump, 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 running in the garage. And my truck's out getting wet. Well, one day after a couple months, she comes to me and said, "Dad, treadmill's broke." "So what do you mean it's broke?" "Well, it won't run." "Is it plugged in?" "Dad, I know how to operate the facility." "Okay, well, I'll come look at it." I'm pulling on the belt, and there's a seized bearing in the back. So I pop out the roller, pop out the bearing, take it to work the next day where you do your personal work on break time, and I call the treadmill company. "Yeah, I need this bearing." "Mr. Palmer, we can have it to you tomorrow. We don't just sell the bearing. You have to buy the whole roller assembly. It's $400. Can we have your credit card?" "Let me think about it. I'll call you back." "I'm not going to do that." So I call our bearing supplier. "Hey, this is not for the company. This is just for me. But we do buy a lot of bearings from you. I need this little bearing here." It's only a $10 bearing, but it's just unusual. We don't carry it in stock. It'll take us a couple of weeks to get you one. Send one my way. So I go home and tell my daughter the good news. We're going to have you up and running, no pun intended, in 2 weeks, and I'm going to pay for it out of the maintenance budget. "Dad, that's not fair. I can't operate this facility for 2 weeks. There's just no workaround. There's nothing we can do. We just got to have that right away." And then I say, "Well, if you want to pony up, let's see, $390 out of the operations budget, we could have it fixed tomorrow." "Dad, that's just not fair." And then I do some root cause analysis because I want to go to the next step. Did it just suddenly break out of the blue? Dad, 1 minute it was running, 1 minute it wasn't. Didn't start making any squeaking noises. "Oh, yeah, it started squeaking really bad last month." "Well, why didn't you tell me about it?" "Well, Dad, I know you have your hands full of reactive maintenance. You're always busy doing stuff. I didn't want to bother you with some little thing. So I turned up the volume on my headset." No. But our operators are out there. They know about all these little things, and they're trying to help us by not telling us about little stuff. And it frustrates them if they do tell us about some little thing. So if you suddenly get the pop and work order completion rate, you'll drain your backlogs. You can encourage your operators to start telling you about stuff. And you can send your own craftspersons out to find stuff where we didn't have time to do that before. So that's the reason we're doing planning. That's where the money is. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for letting me be part of your maintenance family. And we'll see you next time, and God bless.